Hey, it's Cody, and thanks for listening to the Mama's Den. Now, y'all know Black is beautiful, Black is love. It can be seen 365 days a year, 24/7, and mamas know Target is here for all of it. Black Beyond Measure is Target's year-round campaign that celebrates and elevates the spectrum of Black love and success. From the multitude of commitments and investments in the Black community to supporting HBCU students and uplifting Black entrepreneurs. Shop Black-owned or founded brands at Target, from home decor and candles to beauty, wellness products, and so much more. Surround yourself in joy and amplify your Black love with the help of the Black-owned and founded brands at Target every day. Visit target.com/blackbeyondmeasure to learn more.
Hey, it's Ashley Chia, and this is the Mama's Den.
Hey.
What's up, ladies?
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
What do you guys do when you feel burnt out?
Detach myself.
You detach for how long, Ashley? Until you feel better? Like, what do you do? And especially if you still have to go to work and create shit when you don't feel like it.
I mean, that's my whole life. I think, I don't know, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. So, I think a lot of people of color, a lot of immigrants, a lot of people who don't have a lot don't really have the option to... I didn't even really know about self-care in a sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like this is your life and you have to deal with it. So it's not the healthiest thing, but I think I'm really, really good with stress and really, really good with inconvenience because my life has never been a convenience to me. And so I just keep going. I don't know. I think I have one of those old Black lady mentalities of I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know if I subscribe to that, sis.
No, I don't.
But I want to hear. I want to hear from you because I feel like I feel like I relate, even though my upbringing might be different.
Mm-hmm.
I fully just keep going, and I know that there's an unhealthiness to it. But please help me. Please,
yeah,
Melanie, enlighten us.
I mean, I just feel like rest is imperative.
Yeah.
Period. You cannot give what you don't have, and you have to know when it's enough. You have to know, this one more thing is not going to make or break my world today. But if I don't sit my ass down right now, this might make or break my whole spirit, which allows me to show up in the ways that I actually need to in my job, in my partnerships, in my parenthood. And I think that, we're made to feel bad in this world of go, go, go and seeing what everybody's always doing. And, not another day's not promised and, all these things. And it's wait a second, how am I going to get to tomorrow if I can't get through today?
Yeah.
And it's just I think the ability to pause is a luxury that we actually can all take if we give ourselves permission to do it. And I think that burnout is a real thing, and burnout can feel differently. Burnout can be mental, burnout can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be professional. I think that there's just so many ways to experience it, and more ways now than ever, because we are so, I think, tuned into ourselves and tuned into the world and tuned into each other. So
but
I just believe
believe the rest is a luxury? Because I'm trying to think about.
No, I think rest is a necessity.
Right, but
that's what I believe.
I feel like it's a luxury depending on how you.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, but so Ash, you still operate from that space? Because once I was able to identify that I kept going out of survival and it wasn't me living, is when I was able to switch it off.
Yeah, no.
But now that I'm transitioning into not that survival, I've taken a second. And I'm damn, I'm tired.
Well,
I'm burnt out.
But I feel like I have the luxury to do that because of my partner. When I look at my mom, and I don't feel like she ever had the luxury to take a break. She really couldn't. Yes, there were moments when she had her friends, but a lot of her and her friends, my mom was 21 when she became a mom. She was finishing up college. And I know she always taught me about community and the importance of having really good friends. We shared about this on a different episode when Mel was talking about making sure that you have good friends that can help you and support you in your motherhood journey. And she did have that collective, the women that I grew up calling my aunts weren't even really my aunts, but they were in our lives and would take turns with the kids. But for the most part, I feel like my mom probably was in burnout mode the majority of my life. She was a single mom and just didn't have this real daily support to truly have a balanced life. Maybe we went over our friend's house on the weekend once a month or something, but for the most part, she took us to every single recital, every single activity, and we were in everything. You know what I mean? She was working. She eventually started homeschooling us. She cooked for us every day. There was no else helping my mom.
Right. But I also think that that's commendable and respectable and amazing. But I also think that in today's world, like if it was me and that was me, what I was doing, like if this was me today operating from that space, there might just be a day where I'm just like, hey, everybody's missing everything today.
Girl, yeah.
We're staying home. We're ordering pizza and we're not going. And because I just can't. I can't facilitate everything by myself. And Absolutely. I think that, like, to your point, like this is a thing that we have the scales of if it's a luxury or a necessity, if it's an essential versus, you know, a want. I think it's really important more so than ever. And, you know, we all kind of came in today feeling low. Yeah. We all kind of came in today feeling like, whether it's work, professional, the world, just the energy, Mercury retrograde, whatever the hell you want to call it, like it's just weighing heavy. And, you know, our relationships with social media and how that comes and goes and the demand of how we're expected to show up in different spaces. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I just feel like you know, back to that old saying that you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So once you acknowledge that this is something that's weighing on you, how do you lighten your load? And you have to be able to find ways to do that, even if it's small things, like asking for help, like saying no, like saying help. I think I just said that twice. But I mean, you know, help. I think that it's just different. But I believe that burnout is 100% real. Yeah. And I believe that burnout happens for a very valid reason. And it is for us to reevaluate, reassess, and, you know, relocate
100,000%
in our lives.
I just wanted to know that I do agree with you. I'm just saying that I don't want to be insensitive.
Your personal experience is yours.
Well, but I do have help. I'm just so clear.
But I know what you're saying, though. Yeah. I know where you're coming from.
I think what I know for sure is, like, we as a society, whatever, we, the 4 people in this room, anybody listening, like, we have to prioritize our mental and physical health. We have to. Most people don't.
Right.
Many people are having more conversations about it. Still some doing it and still some not. But we have to. And even what you're describing, Ashley, and what any of us like saw our parents or our mamas doing, like there are and were repercussions. All of that stuff. I don't know. I can't imagine someone saying, you know, I saw my mom do absolutely everything and never have an illness ever. You know what I mean?
It comes with something.
Yeah. And so the reality is, like, I think right now the wonderful thing that's happening is that we are having conversations about it and why it's important and normalizing, even like listening to Melanie and sort of being like, I don't know, girl, but like normalizing hearing that and trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you feel guilty for leaning into that feeling too. That feeling of like, I feel burnt out because I'm so used to doing everything. And then I'll look at myself like, oh, you're being weak. Oh, you're complaining. Oh, you're, and then I'm like, I talk to my therapist and she's like, no, girl, you burnt out. Sit your ass down.
Yeah. And then also I think too, something which is, you know, has come up quite a bit in this conversation is the projection from our parents. Like how we feel guilty for, well, my mom did it with this, or like my parents did it and they didn't complain, or our parents look at us and be like, you got life really good. And it's but you know, I'm making a decision to have this really good life. Yeah. And why is that a negative? Why does that come with a negative connotation? And, you know, I think finding ways, back to what Cody was saying, is that it's conversation. I know for me, even being in this space of feeling burnt out, like we just sat here for 30 minutes, all of us just in a bit of a funk. And I think being with each other is helpful in burnout moments. Just knowing that you're not alone, knowing that there is a collective thing that possibly could be happening universally, energetically, that, you know, is a real human experience and it's not just you. Yeah. And I think that that's the beautiful part about going through these things, because you can share your experiences and be like, oh, I've been there. This is how I got through. Yeah. Or I'm in there right now. How are we going to get through it together?
Girl, the awakening. I feel like that's one of my favorite things about having mom friends. Because I'll be looking like, you tired too? Oh, okay, cool. Okay. It's not just me tripping, you know?
Your kids acting crazy this week? Cool, mine too.
Girl, this morning when I had said I had posted about Zen, I was like, you know what? Today is just a day where I just can't. And then I saw another mom. She looked like she was crying at the coffee shop. And she was like, oh, this one just had a blowout. I was like, girl, me too. Yes. Both of us just looking at her. I'm like, can I give you a hug? Like, I really love you. Like, we got this.
Yes.
But beautiful. I was just like, damn.
This feels isolating sometimes. All right, ladies, it's time for our extra special stuff question, sponsored by our new friends at Proudly. Proudly is a new affordable baby care company that is made especially for melanated babies from our friends, the Wades. That's Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. So let's get into this question. This question is from Mariah in Nashville, Tennessee. And she writes, hey, mamas, love the podcast, and I am so glad to have been able to find a community with you all here. I have had a hard time finding my mama village, but being able to listen to you all every week has made it much easier for me. Aww. Now I have a very particular 4-year-old boy who does not like water. Like at all. He doesn't like washing his hands. He doesn't like baths. He doesn't like water parks, pools, super soakers, none of it.
I don't like super soakers either.
The super soakers. Ugh. I hated getting sprayed by a super soaker.
Well, they're guns with water. It's weird.
Now I'm trying to respect his bodily autonomy, so I've been wiping him down. But ladies, I'm sending him off to school for the first time and he's coming back musty. Musty is in capital letters, so you know what it is. I don't know what to do. Do you have any tips on how I can at least get him in and out of this tub?
Get your ass in that tub. I'm like, look, you beat him.
Incentive.
What you doing, Ashley?
Yeah,
Girl,
incentive.
Ashley.
No, swear to God, me and Felicia, I was about to say the exact same
Show ass in
thing.
that tub,
I mean,
boy.
there comes a point where it's like when hygiene is included,
Yes.
you gonna have to just okay. She said very particular, so I don't know all the nuances of her child and their dynamic and what that means. You know what I mean? But so out of respect for that, I'm trying to think of like some more productive advice. Cody has some.
I'm thinking incentives, right? Like whether it is sweets, and in my house, sweets is like a strawberry. So, everybody's all relative, okay? A Pedialyte popsicle is fine. But like whether it's giving them something to eat, whether it is, here's my, assuming I can say, we have this bath thing from Lakeshore that like, you can build in the bathtub.
Oh,
it
that's
has
cool.
all of it floats, and there's like a mat for the building, and you could just build on it. And it's just they
fun.
love it. They beg to get in the
send me
bath
this
to
link?
play with
I
this.
need this.
Absolutely, I love it. So finding bath toys that they actually want to play
Yeah.
with, or making it. I was somewhere recently, and they were saying like, okay, it's a little dangerous in the bathtub, but sometimes making something a competition. Like, can you do this in 3
Yes,
minutes? Can you
exactly.
do
Setting
that?
a timer.
Yeah.
They
Setting a
start moving real
timer, an
fast.
activity they like to do. I
Yeah.
think as soon as they get out of the bath,
Yeah,
like whether it's like,
routines.
they get to like play their favorite game or read their favorite book, or if they're into video games or whatever it is. Well, he's 4, so maybe he's not there yet, but like, just something that they like to do.
Yeah.
Every kid is, driven by different things. You just got to speak your kid's language. I do believe that.
No, I agree. I was gonna say the water thing. They have to drink water. Water is so important for
Wait,
your.
did she say he doesn't drink it?
Yep.
either?
Yeah,
She
nothing
said he
that
doesn't
has to
want
do
no
with
water.
water.
Nothing.
He's not into
Nothing.
it.
Yeah. So maybe.
even
Where
wash
did
the
she say
hands.
drinks it?
Well, she said he doesn't
Because
like
you're reading
water.
it at the same time as
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
digesting it.
Yeah. Didn't she say drink?
Doesn't like to wash his hands. Doesn't like to take baths.
He does not like water. Yeah.
Where does it say
It doesn't say drink.
water?
It doesn't say drink.
Well, I'm
But
sure.
he does not like water.
He ain't washing his hands and taking a bath and going to the water parks. Then he's probably not drinking water.
You're totally right. Go ahead.
Okay, just to say, I was going to say she should probably try to find some tablets, give him some flavored water in the beginning,
Yes.
ease him into it. He has to wash his hands, so we're just going to have to do that. I think that there's all these incentives, but me and Felicia, I think, are a little more similar. And like after a while, it's like, get your ass in the tub. You just,
Y'all might be similar.
Incentives. Get your ass in the tub.
yeah.
Here's the incentive.
Yeah.
I won't have to choose violence at some point in the day today.
Yeah, like sometimes you really have to.
You don't want me on
You
your
don't have
bad
to cuss
side.
at your kids, but there comes a point where your child has to listen to you.
Yeah, you have to like have the upper hand.
Yeah, for
like,
safety
okay,
or
come on.
whatever. It's like safety and hygiene.
Listen,
you have to listen.
You're totally right, but that doesn't make it like easy. Meaning easy, like sometimes they just don't listen. So they're
Absolutely.
For
Sometimes
me
a
in
4-year-old doesn't get
particular,
it.
there
Like,
has
sometimes
to be
A 4-year-old doesn't
Tell them to
understand
get
the
their ass in the
idea, the concept of hygiene sometimes.
Yeah, and why it's important.
And why it's
washing
important.
your
and
hands
that's the
is important,
thing.
yeah.
Not understand it. Like we can't make them
Yeah,
understand.
shove his
We
head
can-
in his
we can-
underarms.
oh
No,
my
I'm kidding.
God. We can do our
I'm
best
kidding.
to help.
Ashley chose violence. See what I'm talking about? Violence.
That's why we show her. No, I'm kidding.
We can do our best to help them understand, but ultimately we just have to get them to do what we want them to do sometimes, and that means working as a team by
Yeah.
saying
Means
you do
necessary.
this,
That's how I feel.
and then we'll do this.
Oh, videos. They have those like fun videos about
Yeah.
like washing your hands and showing
Yeah.
them germs. Oh, she could do the germ thing with them, but like I think you drop like some food coloring in water and soap
Yeah,
and
that's a
stuff.
good one.
Yeah, and then you like teach them about germs and
like-
like why it's important to wash your hands. That's better advice.
You know another one too. I have better advice too. Okay, if you guys go to like I don't know any store that has like the soap is fun. So whether
Yeah.
it's like a bath bomb that like
Yes.
turns into something else,
Yeah.
or if
Yes.
it's like So, but it looks like slime and it's like
Yes, we have
gummy.
some that looks like markers. It's like
Yeah.
literally in a markerish or
that's fun.
a paint container, so they like to squeeze it.
that's cute.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe it needs to be fun.
Yeah.
Make it
That's what
fun.
it has to
I'm
be.
like, wait, when I think about it, my kids definitely are into the fun stuff.
I feel like everything else is like up for debate, but baths can't be up for debate.
Yeah.
Like,
And
water
washing your
parks,
hands.
pool,
Washing your
worry about the
hands.
super
yeah, the
soaker
washing the
sis.
hand. Yeah,
Washing
don't
the
worry about the
hands.
super soaker, sis. He's gonna get there.
I don't like them either. Yeah, don't wear my hair.
Don't spray me in the face with water.
That's
Thank you so
annoying.
much.
Sometimes there's just too much pressure.
It's too much. All right, ladies, I just want to give another shout out to Proudly for giving our Mama's Den community this extra special stuff bonus question. Whoop, whoop. We are loving Proudly over here at the Mama's Den because you know our melanated babies need extra special stuff for their extra special skin. Just like y'all got this extra special question. Now we have something extra special for all of our listeners, and
Is it extra special?
It is extra special because
Extra,
it's a
extra
20% discount. All you have to do is go to proudly.com, spend at least $50, which you know is easy. Use code BLACKLOVE, all caps, one
No cap.
word.
No cap or cap,
Let's
whatever.
not be confused.
As long as it's one
but
word.
No cap. You
Okay.
feel me?
Ashley's giving us her rapper double entendre. Use code BLACKLOVE, all one word, and you will save 20% off your order. Proudly is coming through with making sure that all our mamas, aunties, daddies, everybody is feeling extra special. Okay, look, the code doesn't work on subscriptions, but pick any other product and you're good. Join the Mama's Den and being part of the Proudly family by going to proudly.com and using code BLACKLOVE to save 20% off your order of $50 or more.
How do you feel about the difference between maybe burnout and depression? Because sometimes I'm like,
that's a good
am
question.
I like functionally depressed? Because,
Probably. A lot of people are.
Yeah, I feel like I have been burnt out for a long time, and that flame ain't came back yet.
You so stupid.
No, I'm serious. Because
I keep having all them damn kids.
That's a different flame.
That's a different flame.
That's probably real though.
Yeah.
Because I have been having children for the past 6 years, or breastfeeding or pregnant, and it's exhausting and I'm tired, like physically and mentally drained. And I have a lot of joy in my life. I have a lot of good days, a lot of good belly laughs. But for the most part, I'm just always feeling like I could just go to sleep.
Well,
That's the answer. Not forever.
no,
Oh,
girl.
I didn't
I
wanna
know.
mean it like
No,
that.
I meant
But,
that
like,
to
I
me
just
is
feel like,
normal.
oh,
but
yeah.
like
Well, maybe
there's
you're
a step
functioning
past
depressed too,
that.
girl.
There's a step past that suggests depression. I'm not saying what you're saying doesn't.
I think I might
I'm
be
just saying
depressed.
what you just described. I could go to sleep at any moment.
Yeah.
Like people are always like, "How you drink all this coffee?" Don't worry about it. If I close my eyes right
I
now,
could go to sleep.
It's a wrap.
not
We
a problem.
good.
Yeah, and I don't want to like feel like mentally I want to pick sleep over like doing things, but sometimes like most days I'm just like so tired and so like this is too much, like every day, like getting up doing the same thing, and you got a parent and you got a wife and you got to just
Instagram.
exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's a
like
lot.
even all of those things, they are a lot, right? It is work to parent and to wife or partner
Productively,
and then to
right?
like be a professional anything. It's a lot. Then add to it the things that we're taking in, the social media that we see on accident. Like,
Yeah.
please stop suggesting posts,
Girl.
But like the TV and film shit that we see, even some stuff we talked about this earlier, and we're not going to name names, but some stuff it's a commercial that's too much for me.
Yeah, girl.
It's the 1 minute clip on whatever platform that I'm like, why God, why does this exist?
Right. Same.
And all of that is draining us. I'm saying like I'm claiming it because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
But that's the work, is like figuring out how to like demand better for ourselves as individuals. How to
Yeah.
like and that looks different. For some people it's cutting off social media altogether. For some people it's cutting off that job and just being a stay-at-home whatever.
Yeah.
But like figuring it out. I was at an event, it feels like last weekend, but it was the weekend before. And Taraji Henson was the keynote speaker. You know, she has this mental health foundation named after her father. And I'm going to try to remember the quote because it stuck with me, but I'm going to mess it up. But she was talking about saying no and how like it's so important to say no, like for your own like sanity and health. And like, even if she was like, sometimes I say no, I might be shaking, you know, my heart is pounding.
Nervous,
and I'm like, no, you know, but she said that some people don't want to do it because it's like, that's going to be the end of me. Right. She was like, either this job is going to be the end of me or this no is about to be the end of this job. But like, I got to choose one.
Wow.
See, I said it right?
Maybe, but that's still a good saying.
Yeah.
I mean, even to the point of like, now obviously this is on an individual basis as far as money. Like
Yeah.
people feel that money is literally solution to all the problems in the world, all their problems in the world.
So it does eliminate a lot.
It
girl.
eliminates a
You mean
lot.
the creation of freedom, or
I
do
was
you
gonna
mean
say-
Well,
like,
I mean,
freedom.
yes, but however, like for example, I posted something on Instagram the other day, and it was about a man saying, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, what's the number one thing that you prioritize?" And people are like, "Money," and he's like, "No, money is actually not." He's like, "It's not till your top 5," and he's like, "Okay, if I said I was going to give you $1 million, but you got to die tomorrow, what you gonna choose?"
Oh.
You're going to choose time. Time is now your first priority. He's like, if I say I'm going to give you $1 million, but you're going to be sick for the rest of your life, what you going to choose? You're going to choose your health. He's like, if I told you that I was going to give you $1 million, your mama was going to die tomorrow, what would it say? He says relationships are more
Family,
important
yeah.
than money. And he's like, so these are things. He's like, you chase these bags. He's like thinking like that's what you have to do. You spend all your time. He's like, but he's like, when you prioritize your purpose, the bag comes to you.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on, preach
So
now,
yeah,
Mel.
so and it's just so important to recognize that and to remember those things because we do feel that pressure from so many things. And again, like the money and the success, yes, of course, it's amazing to be goal oriented and driven, but it's also important to be well.
Yeah.
And I think that like I've learned that specifically through my journey through the music industry. A lot of people wonder why I do not participate as much as I used to in the music industry. It's because I wasn't well. And like I had to recognize that by going through it. And I had to start to say, yeah, that's not really how I want to feel about this chapter of my life or this part of what I do. And so that's really where a lot of my wellness practices came in, and then cut to being a mom. And then now it's like, you know, you've seen these Instagram posts. It's like, well, what do you do? I live well. To what extent? However, I feel joyful. Like it's this thing.
Where's
and it's,
that post?
I'll find it and send it to you. It's a
it's a
voiceover.
sound, like a little
It's a sound
sound.
for
Sound.
real.
And it's so true. It's like
really
we're made
cute.
to feel bad about just being like, I'm doing
Girl.
what I want because this is what brings me joy today. And this is how I get through today. And I've really grown to prioritize that feeling in my life and come to understanding that it's really like it's important and no one is going to do it for you because people as mothers, as wives, as partners, as business women and business people, we are expected to show up in so many ways.
Girl.
And it's like, if we're not showing up in that way, it's just like, oh, you weak, you're not made for it. It's just like, no, actually, I'm trying to be here for a long time.
Girl, come on, somebody.
You know?
And I think also not really, I think growing up we're taught you have to do all these things or you
Yep.
have to have all this money. Even sometimes when I think about my brand, I'm like, okay, do I envision Mindful Feed being this like $1 billion company? That's not my goal. I'm like, my goal is to create wellness and mental health and for other women and mothers to feel seen. So I'm like, okay, let me take a second, reprioritize what this looks like, you know, because society would be like, oh, you're making all this money and doing this. I'm like, yeah, but I'm tired. And something ain't aligning. Like, you know, just repositioning. What does that look like?
Repositioning.
Re-identifying what does that look like? You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
No, I was just thinking here because I'm like, you know, you feel it's all the things you guys are saying. Sometimes you can feel lazy. You have you who's been to the top of the mountain and you're like, nah, the view's cool, but I'm gonna go down this other way. You know what I mean? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And you're like, you know, in that space. And I was just sitting here like, you know, we complain about certain things, but this is just really for the listeners. Like, yes, children are a blessing, but if you don't have kids, it's okay. Like you can still be complete and feel okay about your life. Being married is great. It's a lot of fucking work. So if you decide not to get married, that's okay too. I think a lot of these things that we have, they are blessings, but the amount of work that keeps them going and functioning, the amount of work that goes into being a good parent alone is a full-time job. Like that, period. So it's kind of like reevaluating the goals that you have and the things that you say that you want, and more so about living your life for a place of peace.
Yes.
Like what's going to bring you the most amount of peace, joy,
Health.
and good health. And not overextending yourself in the name of accomplishments, in the name of like, well, I have this, and this. Yeah, but if you're not happy, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
To much is given, much is expected. I'm like, that keeps playing in my mind. I'm like, it's so, when you're in it, you like, damn, it's real.
It's very
You know?
real.
It's real.
Yeah. I think about that every day of my marriage. Like, it's a lot of work, and it's not a bad thing, but like just communicating
It
every
just
day.
is. It just
and
is what it
growing.
is.
It is what it
Yeah,
is.
It
It's
just
a
is what it
lot.
is.
Sometimes I'll be like,
So what does anybody have to offer as far as like what you do in these moments? Like, what is your go-to practice? What is something that you can maybe share that can help somebody out there find that space within their life? Like, not saying that this is my go-to, but
Yeah.
this is something that works for me. Is I just don't be on my phone, period.
Yeah.
That's
I just put my phone down.
Yeah.
And like, I will get back to a text message when I can. You guys know sometimes I'm in the chat. I'll show up 3 days later like, hey, sorry. Because sometimes I just can't. I don't have the capacity to respond in real time.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, social media is included in that. But like my phone, I find sometimes also just the posture of looking down, what that does to our body, the tension in our body, our positioning. If we're looking down, we're not looking up. It just symbolizes a lot of things, I think. And so what we're ingesting is really important. So sometimes I just, you know, a phone gotta just be there for emergency purposes.
Yeah, I feel that.
And, you know, if I'm in a window where I can comfortably do that, I take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to pray a lot. Like when I'm like going through it, and it's funny because a lot of people will offer like, if you ever want to talk, and I'll be like, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to talk. I just want to have a conversation with God. I don't want your advice. And it's not in a rude way, but it's like, I just need to connect with spirit and self and really tap into like what God is trying to teach me, or what is God trying to communicate. But prayer is always like my number one go-to.
And by the way, if you're not in a space of like being religious, like meditation is a real thing. If you can speak to yourself, if you can just get quiet and speak to yourself, that is also a connection to the divine. So
that's what I consider prayer anyway.
Same. I'm the same way. I feel like it's all the same things, just different words.
We just got to take the time to tap into ourselves and our inner spirituality. I think I disengage in all aspects. Like I do. Like I just be like quiet. And that brings me peace. Like even when he'll be like, oh, you having a hard day, aren't you? I'll be like, yeah, but I'm gonna talk to nobody.
Do you just go mute?
Yeah, I do.
I
get
mute.
tired of talking. I talk a lot, talk to my friends, talk to my family, talk on the podcast.
Talk to Instagram.
Talk on Instagram. And it's very draining.
Yeah.
And I sometimes need like 2 or 3 days of like me giving one word answers. And you know what I mean? I just have to disengage. And it's so healthy for me. And also at the end of the day, if anything's going to suffer, it's always going to be my career or money, because I just feel like money flows in and out of me. I'm not really worried about it. And I'm not too good for nothing. I just get a job anywhere if I have to. That's just
We been at the bottom before, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. My life has been just as great when I was poor than it is now. You know what I mean? Like I am not attached to money. I'm attached to my children and my husband, and they're never going to suffer over anything else. So it's always like, okay, well, what can I take away in my career that's taking away too much time for me having peace? If I'm too stressed for my children and my husband, like that's not right.
Yeah.
Like that, they're not going to get the brunt of it. For me, it's always like one of these other things can go easily. I'll get something else.
Cody,
Don't look at me, Chad.
this is very
I'm
important.
listening.
Okay.
I'm listening.
But what do you do? Because I know you have to do something to keep on going, girl.
I mean, I was going to say earlier, like all of the above, you know, not meditation, because I'm not there yet, but I have obviously talked about wanting to, but like prayer, disengaging. I mean, I will talk, you know, I'll try to like, who's that one friend that like knows enough? I don't have to explain it all.
Yeah.
But I can just say enough to be
No,
like,
for
this is
real.
where I am right now.
Right.
You know, I do like to kind of get it out. But all of that but I will be, you know, just being honest, like it's just all a lot right now.
Yeah.
And so none of it is enough. And I know that frankly in my life I have to make some decisions to prioritize my like long term, not just the creator burnout moments, but like the longer term like patterns and routines that I want to have for my health and sanity. There needs to be a change.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an energy thing. Like it's like the world's. Like we feel like our world feels like this, but I'm like I feel like everything is being like back to the middle, you know?
It's social media.
And it's our season, Cody. Scorpio season.
Oh, that season.
It's approaching.
Absolutely. October,
Well, wait, where are we? Oh, it's approaching. We're still in Libra.
season right now. Don't
Sorry,
keep on
Libra. The Libra's like, calm down, girl. Slow down. You got 3 more weeks.
Damn, you know, putting the phone down. I think that might be the best thing for everybody.
Girl, it's the best.
It is. It's hard, especially when that's how we make our money, but
It's habit too. The habit of it.
I think Mel is right. I think that might be the key, like step one. Put your phone
the
down.
Mama's Den text
I was just about to say, but don't put the phone down. You gotta listen to this podcast though. Don't put it down too long.
No, I'm talking about taking in negative information. Like this is healing, I think, and helpful.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
put the phone
yeah.
down when you're taking in unnecessary. Listen to a podcast. Listen to a book on tape.
you trust.
Yeah.
There are spaces. The problem with Instagram, right? There are, and Facebook and all, whatever.
Yeah.
They all owned by the same people.
Right.
Is that you can curate a feed, right? That you feel good about.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
therapy, and it's we're not really strangers. It's all these wonderful things. It's Black love, and it's all these beautiful things. But right now, these platforms are showing us the things that we don't want to see.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't ask for that.
No.
I don't watch the
Suggested
news for a
post.
reason.
And some of it is like full on darkness and
Girl,
death and destruction, and some of it is just like rappers fighting. But it's
Which
not,
is also dark.
yeah. You know, and it sucks. Versus, and I'm not, yes, I am selling Mama's Den podcast right now, but versus like finding places that you trust.
Yeah.
A podcast, even a show.
Yeah.
Where you can just mindlessly be like, this makes
Listen,
me
the other
smile.
night when I was in
I
Toronto,
love
I,
that.
was getting my hair done and I was like, what am I going to watch? And all these things came up on Netflix. You know what I watched? Never Have I Ever.
Never have I
It's
ever.
a cute little show with the Indian girl from Toronto. Shout out. And, it's about like teenage drama in high school. And I was like, yes, I'm going to watch this whole series and season while I'm
Is it
alone.
good? I wouldn't
It
wanna
is. It's
watch
really
it.
cute. It's really well written. And I think it
Okay.
is really important to have those outlets of light
Yeah.
to go to that you're just like, all right, like, I know this is not what I would typically spend, but you know what? I'm not in a typical space. I need something to bring me up right now.
I'm going to share mine because it makes me smile.
Okay, what is it?
New Girl.
Oh, I love New Girl.
So good. And there's like 400 seasons.
New Girl. And The Good Place is another one that I really like.
I like the show Is It Real? It's like a cake show. Oh yeah. And I'm like, it's a very
love
child
that.
show.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I can just turn my brain
Yeah,
off, and
that's
it's just,
good.
is it real? Is it a real shoe or is it a cake?
Or is it a
real shoe?
Or is it a
Yes,
cake?
it's so good.
I was like, I hate this show.
You know what I watched? The show on Netflix about this couple in Miami. They like do their.
Talking about real people?
Yeah, the real people.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it might be Puerto Rican or Dominican. I can't remember, but they do like it's a husband and wife, and they
Renovate or something?
not renovating interior design.
I love an
I just watched-
interior.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the
Ooh, they got
other
some
one,
good ones on Netflix.
Yes, Netflix has all the
They
good
got some
like
good
yes.
home
I will watch.
You hear
a
that,
flipping
Netflix?
Show.
Yeah.
I know. Run the check.
Netflix over this check.
No, but I'm they are good for a home reno something, and that is me and Chia's go to. We'll just sit and look at all the houses like I want to build a house. Sometimes it gets depressing, but it's mostly joyous.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch pieces YouTubes with her, and it's literally just somebody making all this noise, putting in all like slime, and
like making
and I just sit
ASMR.
there and I'm like amazed, and her and Zen just sitting back like it's
Yep.
the best thing. But it literally makes you turn your brain off.
Yeah.
I like kid shows.
Yeah, me too. Watch a little Disney cartoon.
Did you guys watch Hocus Pocus? Sorry, to
Yes,
keep
I
going
watched
on.
it.
It's already out?
It's so good.
it's so
It was on the 30th. It's good. They look bomb.
They
okay?
do.
They look
I,
good.
me and Amira watched it last night.
It's
all
so
the girls.
good.
It was so cute.
We should plan a movie night.
We should. I'm with it. I'm
We've
with
got to
it.
pick a movie. And
Okay.
And then let's get that check.
You said Woman King?
Let's do it.
So life is hard and dark, and those are just facts. But
Well, way to bring it back down.
but there are ways, we have discussed ways to just find center, and not just that, like the critical need to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
And so as such, it's important to take like the tiny moments of peace and putting your phone down, all of that. But also it's important to plan movie night with your homies.
Yeah.